Welcome. In this video, we'll discuss group polarization. Group polarization is the tendency for members of a group discussing an issue to move toward a more extreme position. As a result, the group as a whole tends to respond in more extreme ways than one would expect, given the sentiments of the individual members prior to deliberation. We hear a lot about polarization now in the media. Group extremism and radicalization is a growing concern in our country and across the globe. Part of the explanation is group homophily, or our tendency to surround ourselves with like-minded others. People engaging in confirmation bias create isolated echo chambers that result in the polarization of attitudes. Research studies have looked directly at the effects of groups on polarized opinions, and results suggest that if we bring together like-minded individuals and have them share their opinions, individual attitudes shift to a more extreme position post-interaction. We see that the average position of the group is much more moderate prior to the interaction, and then shifts to a more extreme stance after engaging in a group discussion. There are competing explanations for why group polarization occurs. One explanation is simply accumulated information. When people interact with like-minded others, they are sharing attitude-consistent arguments. These arguments provide additional facts and evidence that further reinforce the group members' pre-existing beliefs, and so this additional information pushes each member toward a more extreme viewpoint. The alternative explanation is that social comparison processes operate within the context of groups to promote extreme positions. The group provides social information that members use to evaluate the self relative to similar others. These social comparison processes may lead group members to shift to more extreme positions, particularly if the attitude in question is self-defining. So essentially, the group discussion provides not only attitude-consistent information, but also identity-related social comparison cues. I can use these cues to assess how I measure up compared to like-minded others. For example, let's say you consider yourself to be an environmentalist. You try your best to conserve, reduce, recycle, and you find yourself in a group of like-minded others, many of whom hold much stronger pro-environmental attitudes than you do. If environmentalism is important to your identity, and you see that compared to others in the group, your attitudes are actually quite moderate, you may shift to a more extreme position to reinforce your environmental identity. Which of these explanations provides a better account of group polarization effects? Is polarization about information or identity? Research suggests that the accumulation of attitude-consistent information is insufficient to produce strong polarization effects. Instead, polarization seems dependent on the social psychological processes within groups that drive identity and attitude reevaluation. Social comparison within groups is key to driving polarization effects.